I'm Sherrell, owner of Make Me Ova Salon and Sherrell Alicia Beauty, and I am not my hair loss. I have been specifically assigned this mission to empower women globally, to remind you that you are more than your hair. Today, I have gathered a few women with different types of hair loss to remind you that you are beautiful and you are not alone. I have female pattern baldness, which is a hereditary hair loss. I was diagnosed with this hair loss about 2 years ago, and I personally struggle with sharing my journey. The reason I struggle with sharing my journey is, for one, I've dedicated my career to hair restoration and providing hair replacement units for women who are experiencing different types of hair loss. And even those who just like to wear wigs. About 5 years ago, I had a daughter and all of her hair fell out. I began to have a deeper interest in hair loss and further develop my own hair care line to help with in-salon hair restoration and things like that. And through the process, I've gained a certification as an ethnic hair loss therapist. Fast forward to my hair falling out, I didn't really understand why I couldn't fix myself. I helped so many women over the course of my career that it was something that really, it took a toll on me. It's kind of like, I use this example of a pianist losing his fingers or an artist going blind. It's one of those things I couldn't really understand why I was given the mission. And one day it came to me, why not? I'm such a crybaby. Why not? I was wearing wigs and, you know, all my friends would encourage me like, Sherrell, you know, you make wigs and they're so nice and at least you can do that. But for me it was different because it was no longer a choice. I felt like I had to wear wigs. And it feels different when it's not your choice. One day I woke up and I just snatched my wig off and I went to the barbershop. And I cut all my hair off, and when I say it was the most liberating feeling that I have ever experienced, to be able to really see me. I've never felt anything like that in my life. To be able to look at myself and say, that's Sherrell, that is her. And for the first time in my life, I really love her. I really got to see her for who other people see her as. I've always been positive, fun-loving, just this empowering person, but I couldn't say when I looked in the mirror. I actually saw it and felt it for myself. And that's how I've been able to overcome my hair loss. And yes, I do still like to wear wigs. I feel like, you know, this is also me, and when I want to try something different, I have that option. So whether you like to wear extensions or you want to be your authentic self. If I could give you any encouraging words, it would be do whatever the hell makes you feel great. Whoever you feel you are, and even if you don't know yourself just yet, spend the time to get to know yourself. And only surround yourself with people who want to see you reach your highest self. So I can say, for me personally, through my journey from beginning to today, because this is not the end, I'm just getting started. The things that you go through are not personally for you. I've been assigned this mission to help others. My name is Sherrell and I am not my heroes.
Hi, my name is Jeannie, and I have chemotherapy-related hair loss. I am a breast cancer survivor and victor. So this journey began for me in November 2017 with a diagnosis, and probably by the end of November 2017, I had lost all of my hair. I liken it to a combination of Benjamin Buttons and Homie the Clown. That's what I look like. But I'm here and I'm beautiful. When I first found out that I was going to lose all of my hair, I was okay because I still had a full head of hair, shoulder-length, thick, black hair. When it actually happened, that was another story. I was at home and I had a repairman at my house and I just rubbed my head. I just did like this. And my hair started falling out in my lap. And I had wads and wads of hair in my lap. So before the evening was over, all of my hair was gone. And I cried and I cried, and then I got myself together. I had to shake it off because I had a repairman there. And I had to understand who I really am, who I was and who I am. Beautiful. So initially, what happened with me, the challenges were related to what I thought was beauty, what I thought mattered to other people, what I thought lured people to me. My scalp was very sensitive, so initially I couldn't wear head wraps or wigs, very tender. But I had to put satin on, so I had satin pillowcases and things of that nature. Was going to work, so when I would come home, the first thing I would do is snatch it off. But then it became more of my routine, looking in the mirror at myself more, which is something I never did, and looking at the reflection and saying, hey, I love you, you're alive. I love you. You're alive. I love you. So I overcame the hair loss or the deficiencies I thought the hair loss caused me to have by really embracing all of me, flaws and all. So it was not uncommon for me to go to work and people would say, what's under that head wrap? And I would just snatch it off and bare my bald head. Needless to say, the shock value went up. And I did it repeatedly. One time I did it 3 times, back to back to back in the office. And people were shocked because they were expecting me to be devastated. And in fact, they were crying. And I was like, listen, this is my head. And if I'm okay, you have to learn to be okay with it. So what I would say to people who are experiencing hair loss, men or women, I would say, forget what you heard about what beauty is, what handsome is. Forget about those attributes that people or society say make you great, make you beautiful. It has nothing to do with your hair, and clearly has nothing to do with breast either. It has to do with what's on the inside of you, your heart. What matters is you are beautiful, you are God's divine creation, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and no one can take that from you. You are beautiful. Learn to embrace all of you, what you perceive as flaws, what you perceive as flaws, what other people perceive as flaws. Love all of it, own it, be free, and be authentic. I am not my hair loss.
My name is Kerri-ann, and I have traction alopecia. When I first found out I had traction alopecia, I was devastated. I went through a series of tests, paid out of pocket to see a specialist, to buy a laser machine that he told me would help to grow my hair back. I had to sit under that machine for like 15 minutes and wait, and then massage it and massage my hair, and then put can't remember what the oil is. Put all this oil on my hair to try and get my hair to grow back. That didn't work. So finally, I went and saw a dermatologist who decided that he was going to cut my scalp and cut my scalp and send it out to be analyzed. He did that, and then when he came back, he said he thought initially that I had a fungus, but when the results came back, it was negative. My next appointment with him would have been like 6 months, because dermatologists, especially African American dermatologists, they have a lot of clients, and the time to see them is it takes a very long time to see them. So after that, I think probably a couple years went by, and then I went and saw another dermatologist, and then she's the one that cut my scalp again and did a biopsy, and she said that I had traction alopecia, and that it would never go back, and that it would get wider and wider. So it was hard hearing that, because I'm used to getting my hair done every 2 weeks, and at work I'm known as a person who changes their hairstyle every 2 weeks, and they do photo array of me having my hair done and different photographs, and just show it at the end of every month, like, you had this hairstyle then, now you have this hairstyle. So I continued to try to maintain that status by wearing wigs all the time. But the job that I do is crime scene investigation. So my fear is always that I'm going to be at a crime scene, walk in and go under a tree or something, my wig is going to come off. And then that's going to leave me, sometimes I'll be on the news, be exposed on the news, having my wig in one place or me in one place. So that's one of the challenges I kept on facing. And then that, like, how do I go on? Like, how do I be my true self? How do I accept that this is not the new me? It took me a while, but last year my husband and I went on our anniversary, and I took my wig, and then we had to go to the beach, and I had to put a wig on to go to the beach, and I said to him, like, I'm so tired of doing this. It just feels so wrong. I just don't feel like myself. I just want to be free. I just want to be me. And so he said, you're beautiful the way you are. Just be you. Just take it off. Just cut it off. And I was like, I want to, but it's just, nobody's ever seen me like this. So we came back from Jamaica. We were in Jamaica. We came back from Jamaica. And I was looking in the mirror, and I said, babes, I think I want to do this. So he said, let's go. I'm taking you to my barber. So he took me to his barber, and there were a lot of men in there, so I was really, really nervous. But he was there with me, and he told the barber what I wanted, so I kept my wig on the whole time until it was my turn to go in the shop. It's go in the chair, so I took it off. And the barber was like, what do you want to do? I said, cut it all off. And he said, okay. And he cut it off. And as soon as he was done, and I got out the chair, the first thing, my husband was gone to pick up my son. And then the first thing someone said to me was like, you are beautiful. Don't ever grow your hair back. And I was like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I got home, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, who's that? Is that me? And I kept on walking back, and I was like, wow, you are gorgeous. Oh my goodness, look at you. And I kept on walking back and forth to my mirror, and I was like, wow, all of this was underneath all of that. And I just felt my truest self was out, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is you, Kerri-ann, accept it. You're just gorgeous, you're glowing, you're smiling, you're just happy. And I was like, I can do this. And I went looking for my sister, and I was like, Wakanda forever. And she was like, you are silly. And so I was like, you know, and my family gave me a lot of support. Was like, you know, you're finally there. You're accepting yourself. My niece, who's also does hair and stuff in her own room, she was like, Auntie Carrie, I love it. I love it. She came and she touched my head. And then something else came to me. I was like, I'm not really like people touching my head because it feels like it's now closer to who I am. It's closer to my spirit, to my aura. But it was okay for her to touch it because she's family. And then I was like, I'm going to be facing a new dilemma, having to tell people that it's not okay to touch my hair, my scalp. It's like, you're not touching my hair anymore. You're touching my scalp, and it just feels like if you have negative energy, you're going to put that negative energy inside of me. So I was like, it's going to be a challenge trying to explain that to people. But I was like, I can't worry about what they have to say. So fast forward to the first day I had to go to work, and I got dressed, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to work. They've never seen me like this. They've never seen me like this. I was like, where's my husband? I want to see if he's gonna say this is okay to go outside like this. And I was like, you can't depend on him to give you that, you know, I can't find words, to tell you that you're gorgeous the way you are. And I looked in the mirror, I had my uniform on, and I was like, this is me. Take it or leave it. This is me. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. I'm like talking to people I'm gonna see. I don't care. So your negative energy is just gonna empower me to be happier, to glow more. You come at me with the questions. Come with negative, because guess what? This is Kerri-ann. Kerri-ann, this is you. You're gorgeous, you're happy, you're beautiful. This is all of you. And I was like, I'm going to work just like this. And every negative comment that I'm gonna receive, if I receive any, it's gonna make me smile on the inside. And I went to work, and the comments were like unbelievable. People were like, oh my goodness, this is so you. It fits you. You're so gorgeous. Your eyes are smiling. And I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I'm just happy because this is who I am. And questions were like, why did you do it? Because I had to do a cleansing, and I had to accept all of me. And you know, this is the time for me to accept all of me. And I decided that this is Kerri-ann, and I am not my hair loss. Yeah.
My name is Kia, and I have lupus-related hair loss. It started out as my scalp was just itchy. It just itched all the time. I just didn't know what was going on. I just thought it was something that came from the weaves that I was wearing. But I remember, I swear to God, I remember it was Christmas Eve, and my boyfriend was actually cutting my weave out for me, and I thought that he actually cut my hair by mistake. So I just thought that he cut a bald spot in my head. So I'm asking him, like, what done happened? Like, I done got a bald spot in my head, but then I noticed that at the spot that I thought that he cut in my head was actually really sore. So, and it was really sore, it was really itchy, and then it was really sore to the touch, and I couldn't touch it at all. It just really hurt really, really bad. So I just thought that it was just came from the weave. I probably just irritated my scalp. But then I noticed that it kept being itchy, and then my hair kept falling out. So then I went to my girl Sherrell, my stylist. So she actually brought my hair back. I was losing hair in patches, but then it would come back, and then it would keep coming back, but then it would keep falling out too. So I remember one day I was getting my hair done, and Sherrell was like, you probably need to see a dermatologist. And I'm wondering, why I need to see a dermatologist? My hair keep growing back. You keep on bringing it back, so there's nothing wrong with my hair. So when I finally went to the dermatologist, this was in 2016, and it was I had to get a biopsy and some other stuff that was done. But then I remember my dermatologist called me back 2 weeks later. It was late at night. It was weird. It was 8:30 at night, and he told me that I had lupus and asked me how I was feeling. I'm acting like, lupus? First of all, I didn't even know what lupus was. Nobody in my family has lupus, and then they're saying that it's hereditary. I'm trying to figure out, like, how is it hereditary and nobody in my family has lupus? Like, nobody in my family has lupus at all. So then I began to have these scalp injections, these steroid injections on my scalp every 2 weeks. It was like clockwork for like a year. And I was on medications and all kinds of stuff. Then my hair would grow back, and then it would fall out again, and then it would just keep falling out. And then I would notice it was like a trail. It would be like a trail, and then I would have like scars on my scalp after the hair would fall out, and then it would come back. So after that, I learned that the issue was stress. And then when I started to learn how to reduce my stress, and then first of all, I had to learn the source of my stress. So when I found out what the source of my stress was, then I learned ways to kind of control and reduce my stress. And then after that, I learned, how to regulate my diet. So then I started to work out daily, eat right, and after a while of doing that, I was able to come off the medications completely, and I haven't been on any medications for about a year now. So my hair is growing back, but stressful situations always will cause it to fall back out. But I didn't know that it was medical. I had no idea. I didn't know that I was sick at all. But because I didn't know that I was sick because Sherrell keeps on making my hair grow back like she's a miracle worker for real. Like, I didn't know that I was sick. I just thought that, I was going through some stuff, some stress, and my hair was falling out because it kept coming back. But then after a while, it didn't act right. And then that's when I was diagnosed with lupus. But I'm good now. I am. I'm good. What I would say to encourage somebody else's hair is not everything. I'm the girl who always had a whole head full of hair. I've always been the girl who's had very long hair, just a whole bunch of hair all the time. Always received compliments on my hair, and then I thought that I really was my hair. That's what I felt like. I felt like I was my hair. I felt like once I lost my hair, that I lost me, and that was not it at all. Like, that was so far from the truth. So now I just learned different things to do with my hair, and I've become more versatile with my hair now that my hair has fallen out and has grown back. Like, I'm not so stuck in a box. I was a wear your hair long all the time type of girl. Now, no, I'll do almost anything except for cut it all the way off. I haven't done any of that, but I'm not my hair loss.
Hi, my name is Jada, and I was diagnosed with alopecia areata, and then it turned into alopecia totalis. I was diagnosed when I was 18 during my senior year of high school, and it has definitely been a beautiful struggle. I think that's the best way to embody this. How I overcame it. I was very depressed for a couple of years when I was an undergrad, and I think it took me to fall at my very bottom to understand that beauty is not something that is external, but it's something that's internal. I think having this disease has helped me to really define what beauty is and what it stands for. It's not something that can be defined by who you are on the outside, but it's something embedded so deeply within yourself. And I think you have to really dig deep in order to find that within yourself. I came to accept it because it's just something that I have to live with, and it's something that I have to choose every day to overcome. And I think for other women that are experiencing what I'm experiencing, I just want to say that you can do it, you can be anything, you can do anything. Don't let it hinder you from being the best version of yourself, because you're amazing. God created you to be the best human being that you could ever be. So I just want to say to all the women that are suffering out there to just embrace who you are and own who you are. And you're beautiful and you're amazing. And what else can I say? When I was in undergrad, I got shots, steroid shots, my scalp. It hurt so bad. But I was able to get through that, and I tried scleric acid as well. I did Rogaine, everything possible, and nothing worked for me. And I just kind of had to accept that this was my new reality. And I would have never known as a child that this was something that I would have ever had to endure or experience, but I'm here now, and I just make the best of it every day. What I was gonna say, I think telling other people is definitely difficult for me because it's basically revealing the skeleton of my identity. And when you reveal that to someone, it can be very challenging because you don't know if someone's gonna use that against you. And I think sharing it with other people is a beautiful thing because you never know what someone else is enduring, and you can help them overcome some things. It might not be related to in the same way, but you can help them by radiating your strength towards them and encouraging them. And it took me about 10 years just to wear a scarf in public. And when I did it for the first time, I squeezed my mother's hand. I was absolutely terrified of giving a piece of myself to the world in that way. And it took me a couple of times to get really comfortable just wearing a scarf and being raw. But when I finally did it and opened up in that way, I felt free, finally, after 10 years. And I think everyone's in a different place in their journey, and that's definitely okay. You don't have to be at the same pace that everyone else is going because it's not everyone else's journey, it's your journey. So I think for anyone that's going through this, I would say be kind to yourself. Don't criticize yourself so much because we are our biggest critics. And you just have to encourage yourself every day and say, I'm going to live, even though I feel like a part of myself at some point has died. You have to tell yourself every day you're going to choose to live, you're going to choose to keep going. And I think that's what's the most important. Also, I think I've had to completely just break down and really, say, I'm dealing with this, but it's going to be okay. It's always going to be okay. And I don't think I've let anything hinder me from my dreams, my goals, my aspirations. I've lived abroad. I've accomplished the impossible, I think, at this point. And I think everyone can do as such. I think you just have to really just be yourself, because we're all here, we're all struggling, we're all going through something, and you just have to fight. You have to fight yourself. You have to fight other people, and I think once you embody that fight within yourself, then anything is possible. I've never done this before, but I'm going to do this for the very first time, and I'm going to be so brave. I've never publicly taken off my hair, and I think for the first time, I'll do it because I think it'll make such a difference with other women that are going through the same thing, and we're not defined by this, but we're defined by something so much deeper. And I think me taking off my hair will actually help someone else. And I'm just gonna go for it because it's something I've never done. And it's really hard, and here it goes. And this is who I am, and this is who I'll always be. And I don't want other women to feel like they can't be their most authentic selves and that they don't feel beautiful because they're defined by this. So this is my first time actually showing my skeleton, and this is who I am, and I am not my hair lost.